You've got to respect the streak, guys, because when you're on one of those hot streaks, you've got to enjoy it for everything it's worth, and you've got to keep on pressing when you've got that hot streak in your corner. Hi, guys. Al DeMarco here. This is going to be your Sunday video report. On Saturday, a perfect 4-0, and it couldn't have gone any better. First of all, my 6th consecutive winning day. I had a 5-dime play on Baylor. I said they would beat up Buffalo by at least 34 points. Okay, I was wrong just a little bit. They won by 57. But hey, you can't have everything. But when you do have a 28-point home favorite and they're up by a couple of 100 points at halftime, you do feel relatively confident with that selection. And then here, for your video report, I give you a 3-0 sweep with the free picks. Miami of Florida, outright over the Florida Gators as a 3-point home dog. Wyoming crushing Idaho. North Carolina coming to play and scoring the win in Chapel Hill. So a 42-24 free pick run. And as I've always mentioned to you, I do exceptionally well over the years with my free picks because the free picks are basically the best of the worst. And what I mean by that is, I've got a collection of games that I'm looking at, and 99% of the time I'm releasing one play. That's my best bet, the game that I'm personally playing. I'm not one of these guys that believes in playing every single game on the card. Oh, I used to be, though. Trust me, I used to be. Years ago, if there were 41 games, I'd figure out a way to play 42 sides. That was me. But the fact is, the more games you play, the odds are mathematically stacked against you, and the VIG ultimately will kill you. So again, I always find a collection, a package of games. I usually unload on that one play myself. That's the best bet that you're getting. And the other plays are what I consider the orphans, the best of the worst. All plays that are good, but for one reason or another, they're slightly flawed. That's why I win a high percentage of them, giving you those as free picks. Now, occasionally, listen, the free picks will win and I'll lose my best bet, but you'll never hear me the next day saying, gee, I keyed the wrong game. I don't play that game. Listen, when you place your bet, you don't look back, okay? And that's the bottom line. So the free picks today, I've got 3 more of them coming up. New Orleans, Atlanta, Seattle, Carolina, and the Dallas, New York total for your Sunday night game. So those are the 3 freebies coming up in just a moment. I'm going to run down who's hot and who's not. I've got some interesting coupons and details for discounts for you as well today. The one thing, or actually 2 things that I want to speak to you about here briefly before we get started, however. One in relation to college football. You've always got to guard against the overreaction play. Now, I'm going to use a specific example, and it has nothing to do with the fact that Brian Rusika yesterday was going for his Holy Grail 100-dime winner, number 9 out of 12, and he had to play on Texas, a 7.5-point favorite in Provo against BYU. Has nothing to do with that particular game. Because let's face it, Rusika has certainly made everybody a lot of money since he joined the site back on February 5th. But it's that type of game, and not a criticism of Brian, but that type of game that you've got to guard against the overreaction. Here's the thing. To the uninformed, you see in week number 1 that Texas just destroyed New Mexico State in their home opener. But in reality, if you had dug deeper, you would have seen that Texas was sluggish for almost a quarter and a half, trailing 7-0 early in that game, playing in Austin before the Longhorns finally got their mojo going and rolled to a win against a cupcake. And that's all New Mexico State was. A cupcake coming in here for a payday, coming into Austin, I should say, for a payday to go ahead and get walloped by the Longhorns. So, naturally then, you see BYU, and trust me, I know all about BYU's opening week loss at Virginia. I mean, it was played in miserable weather, you had an inclement weather stoppage, you had BYU taking the lead, and then inexplicably on a 3rd and 6 play with 2.5 minutes to go deep in their own territory, their inexperienced quarterback throwing an interception. 1 play later, Virginia goes in, scores from 13 yards out, and Virginia, although getting outstatted on the box score, wins that game. Overreaction. Texas, you see the big winning margin, you see BYU losing at home, and suddenly you go, Texas, 7.5-point favorite, that's all I'm laying with the Longhorns. But has Texas played well the last couple of years? Is Mac Brown a fraud? Well, personally, I happen to think so. Is he overrated? Personally, I happen to think so. But the fact is, the same problems that were the ills of Texas a year ago, their inability of their defense to stop anybody, the inability of their defense to do basic tackling, like I think they teach Pee Wee kids. Okay? I mean, Longhorns, all their problems surfaced once more again, and suddenly a 7.5-point favorite loses yesterday by nearly 3 touchdowns. On the road in Provo, a very difficult place to play. So that's what I mean. You've always got to be careful in college football about the overreaction play. I'll give you another one. Miami of Florida. Yes, I gave you the Hurricanes yesterday. Signature win for Al Golden's program. Look at the box score, however, guys. Florida outplayed Miami of Florida in every aspect of that game except in one key department. Turnovers. I think they had 5 of them yesterday. Miami had its lowest offensive output in a game, I think going back to 1977. Florida dominated that game, but they came up short because they turned the ball over. So now, next big game where you have significant lines for Florida, Miami, Florida, you've got to guard against the overreaction play. In the NFL, the item that I wanted to address quickly for you, I told you in the preseason, I think one of the most overlooked facets of making money in preseason football is the first half play. Because in the preseason, when in week number 1, your starters are playing maybe a series or 2, in week number 2, they're playing maybe up to a quarter, and in week number 3, they're generally playing the first half through 3 quarters. First half plays, very advantageous, because you want to have your money on the players that are going to make you money, your starters, okay? You don't want to have your money being determined by second, third, and fourth stringers who may be out of the league when the first cuts come around. But in week 1 of the NFL regular season, you want to stay away from first half plays. I have noticed over the last, let's say, 10, 15 years, where preseason play has been de-emphasized by coaches who fear getting their starters hurt. And how does that pan out, right? If you're the Baltimore Ravens and Dennis Pitta, so many guys get hurt anyway. It's almost like coaches are saying, hey, we can predict when those players are going to get hurt. We're not going to let it happen during August. Yeah, like that really works out wonderfully. But the fact is, as they de-emphasize the amount of time that the starters are actually going to see the field in the preseason, consequently what happens is you see teams come out very sluggish in week number 1, especially teams that are high-powered offensive teams. Look at the Denver Broncos on Thursday night, okay? Sluggish first half, really got it going in the second half. Even the Ravens were sluggish offensively in the first half, and that's what happens because no matter how much you practice, no matter how many internal drills you have, no matter how many times you say your team looks that good on the practice field and the playing field are 2 different things. And my personal opinion has been that what happens is that these coaches basically shoot themselves in the foot when you have a high-powered offensive team because it takes them a while to get into gear, to get that cohesiveness that you need offensively to sustain long drives and to strike in the first game of the regular season. So week number 1, I say stay away from first half plays. Week number 1 also, however, I will tell you, generally you want to lean toward favorites because what happens is the lines are never that sharp. The odds makers really don't know any more about these teams than you or I do, okay? They don't have an inherent advantage in week number 1. So consequently, when you have favorites, you have prices that are cheaper, guaranteed. And let's face it, gamblers, some handicappers, tend to gravitate toward favorites because it's basic human nature. So those are a couple of things to be aware of. Let's talk about a couple of hot handicappers. Oh, hell, let's talk about me first. I've won 6 straight days. Today I've got another 15-dime release, home cook and mismatch. Just as strong as my 15-dime play on the Broncos-Ravens total on Thursday night. And remember, 99% of my plays are rated between 5 and 15 dimes, and I'm going for a 7th consecutive winning day. And this play, of course, is 3 times stronger than the 5-dime winners in college football I gave you on Baylor and Central Florida the past 2 days, and all they did was win by a combined 108-13 score. Don't you wish it could be that way every single week, guys, right? I mean, you know what I mean. Hey, Shawn Michaels going for winning day number 33 of 50. Today, 50-dime winner number 26 out of 38. And that is a run with 50-dime plays that he's accumulated over the past 2.5 months right here in baseball and football. And today, it's another teaser. In fact, it's teaser winner number 35 of 47. He just opened up the NFL season with the teaser winner, a 100-dimer, in fact, on Thursday night with Denver and the over. Well, today he has teaser winner number 35 out of 47 on Minnesota, Detroit, Indianapolis, and Oakland. The side selections for those 2 games. Over the past 10 weeks, he has had 51 plays. He's gone 33, 17, and 1 with those selections, making a $10 player, $685. He finished the NFL preseason by cashing with 4 out of 5 50-dime plays, a play just as strong as today's selection. So that's what Shawn Michaels has going for you. Jeff Benton, 2 Saturdays ago, 100 dime, opening college game of the year. Northwestern, the road favorite, getting the win and cover at California. Today, 100 dime, opening NFL game of the year. It's his NFC South game of the year. The huge showdown between the Falcons and the Saints. Twice as big as his 59 Super Bowl winner on the Ravens, and just as big as those 100 dime plays in college basketball, of which he's won 12 out of 14. An incredible run that he capped by giving you Louisville over Michigan in the March Madness title game back in April. So that's what Shawn Michaels has going for you today. Listen, guys, for any of the plays here on the site today, if you'd like to save some money on your purchase, you can certainly do so. And if you will just bear with me for 1 second, I just noticed that the coupons are not up on the site at the moment. So somebody is going to get done doing this video report and scream and yell at customer service. But you got to love live videos, guys. I mean, you just have to do this, because I just realized that the date is wrong here on our video, on our discounts. So consequently, you, as the customer, if you happen to click right this very moment, which I don't want you to, over to the homepage, you wouldn't see the coupon codes. So I'm putting them live for you as we speak. But anyway, your first discount today, guys, you can save $21 off of any single purchase today simply by using coupon code SAVE21, SAVE21, S-A-V-E, and the number 21, that'll save $21 off a single purchase today. Also going today, you've got the $5 play of the day, turning to Brett Atkins for football winner number 8 out of 11. It's his opening total of the year. It's a 40-dime play, just as big as his 40-dime winner on Boise State on Saturday. You get it by using coupon code BRETT5, BRETT5, B-R-E-T-T, and the number 5. And finally today, guys, it's Charity Play of the Week. If you're a newcomer to the site, this is a program that I started over a year and a half ago, where I decided that it's a way for us to help others in need. Gambling for good. Gambling to create positive karma. And it has certainly been successful, because together, you and I, we've created a community of caregivers that have helped others in terrible times of need. Today, Charity Play of the Week winner number 19 out of 26. I'm turning to one of the hottest handicappers at this site for the past couple of months, Trace Adams. Short-term run, he's going for winning day number 23 out of 34, coming off a Saturday 2-0 sweep. Today, you will get his top-rated 1,000-star winner number 25 out of 40, his interconference total of the year, absolutely free, by using coupon code, his first name, Trace, T-R-A-C-E, Trace. Normally this play would cost you $74.95. You're going to get it for free. And keep in mind, he has made $1 bettors $26,300 over the past 10 weeks. And you're going to get the play for free today. And if it wins, tomorrow I'm going to ask you to make a donation to somebody who needs help, a family, an individual, somebody in a time of need that needs help. And if it loses, well, it's gambling, guys, and there are no guarantees. And I will tell you something. Last week, the Charity Play of the Week winner, which was provided by Scott Delaney, that was for a little 5-year-old boy who was tragically killed in a home accident just weeks before he was to start kindergarten this month. The family needed help to pay off funeral expenses, over $4,000 owed. That fundraiser met its goal. They made the money they were looking to make to pay the bill. And it's because of you guys out there, your contributions. You made that happen. So you should feel pretty damn good about yourself right now. Now, listen, I told you about the good. Before I get to the free picks, I want to quickly talk about the bad. Craig Davis has been a phenomenal handicapper here in football, especially in the NFL, over the past couple of years. Yesterday, he was going for 100 dime winner number 18 out of 24. Okay, so that tells you what type of role he's been with his max rated plays. He went with Cincinnati, a road favorite at Illinois, and the Bearcats got crushed in that game. Just absolutely destroyed. And as I told you, Brian Rosica yesterday had his 100 dime winner number 9 out of 12, and he got destroyed with the Texas Longhorns. But all in all, pretty good day on Saturday. Let's get to your free pick selections. Guys, I'm going to go in reverse chronological order here. First of all, let's take a look at that Sunday night game. You're looking at Dallas and the New York Giants. You know how the Giants have just owned Jerry Jones's palace there. You know how the Giants have owned this series, etc. But I'm specifically looking at the total in this game at 51 points. You have two teams that certainly have offensive potential. We know that with Romo and Manning. And we've seen these two light up the scoreboard over the years in previous matchups. But you also have two teams that are struggling defensively with injuries. Okay, the Cowboys, of course, brand new defensive coordinator and the overrated Rob Ryan coming in there. I'm sorry. Brand new defensive coordinator replacing the overrated Rob Ryan. The problem is they simply have just been shredded on the defensive line with injuries coming into this contest. So I think that's going to open the passing lanes even more so for Eli Manning. Now, on the other side of the field, the New York Giants a couple of years ago during their tremendous run, they were able to constantly get to quarterbacks. That is not the case over the past year. Last year, only 33 sacks. Yeah, they had 157 quarterback pressures a year ago. But without applying adequate pressure, well, that means Tony Romo, still playing behind a shaky offensive line, is going to be able to exploit this New York Giants secondary, which also has a couple of key injuries as well, specifically missing one of their starting safeties heading into this contest, Stevie Brown. So I think that you look at this game, and I think that you can easily have a game that could be like 30-27, 31-27, 31-24. I just think you're looking at a lot of offensive potential here, and I think that you've got to play this game over the posted price. Next free play. Let's take a look at that Seattle-Carolina contest. And listen, Carolina is getting a lot of support from gamblers. Damned if I know why. Okay, I understand that Seattle won last year, but they did win last year's matchup, and that is the key, right? They did win it 16-12 as a 2.5-point road dog last year. Yeah, I've read all the hype about this is Cam Newton's year. Well, wasn't last year Cam Newton's year? What the hell happened? I've read that, Carolina playing for Ron Rivera's coaching future. Yeah, that really affected the team going all out and winning one for the Gipper last year. I see Carolina's going to de-emphasize the read option some with Newton and go back to more of a power running game with DeAngelo Williams. Fact is, Cam Newton still, other than Steve Smith, doesn't have a great bevy of talented wide receivers. I think the Carolina defense still leaves a lot to be desired, although very strong at linebacker play. And I also know that Cam Newton today is going to be facing one of the most physical and toughest secondaries in the business, and that being Seattle's. And listen, last year Newton struggled against the Seattle defense. 12 for 29, 141 yards passing, only 7 carries for 42 yards. I'm just a believer in Russell Wilson. I mean, last year, an inexperienced Russell Wilson leading the Seattle Seahawks to the road or to the win in their previous battle, 19 for 25, 221 yards passing. I don't buy into the fact that everybody says, hey, the Seahawks have a huge look-ahead game with San Francisco on tap next Sunday night at home. Seriously? You're really going to trot out that a team opening the NFL regular season in week number 1 already has a look-ahead game? Are you effing kidding me? I also don't buy into the fact that Seattle was 2-3 straight up in games played at 1 o'clock Eastern time or later, or in the 1 o'clock Eastern time slot a year ago. Pete Carroll certainly bought into that, however, and he had his team practicing, getting ready for their game day clock preparation as if the games were 1 o'clock during the preseason. I think the key here is going to be Marshawn Lynch. I don't see Carolina stopping this guy. He's fresh. Carroll only gave him 5 carries in the preseason. I think Wilson and Lynch lead Seattle to the victory. I think this is an incredibly cheap price with Seattle minus 3 points. You also might want to look at the total in this game. It's sitting at 45. I don't see a offensive fireworks type of game. I mean, this could very easily be like 21-7, 24-13. I think that you should look at the under in that game as well. Finally, New Orleans and Atlanta. Damned if I know who's going to win the darn game. Personally, I hope the Saints win. I'm a Saints fan. I'm a Drew Brees fan, okay? I don't know who's going to win this game because you can talk about the Saints being back, Sean Payton being back, but that defense stinks for New Orleans, okay? Look at all the injuries. Jonathan Vilma out. Victor Butler out. Will Smith, probably their best pass rusher, out. Atlanta, you add Steven Jackson to the mix. Hell of a lot better than Michael Turner. You're going to put some points on the board. So the hell with the side in the game. Just play the over. It's 55 points. How is this total not like 58, 59? Maybe 60 is not enough. I mean, seriously, do you really think this is going to be a 23-20 game? I don't think so. I mean, I see 33-30 maybe. Okay? I just don't see how you don't play the over in this contest. So Forget about everything else. Forget about the side in this game. Watch the game from entertainment purposes. As far as I'm concerned, I want to see a shootout when I'm watching an NFL game. I do not want to see a defensive struggle. I'm sorry. I don't want to see, the Pittsburgh Steelers reincarnated from 1975 again playing defense, or the Bears during their Super Bowl run. I want to see 33-30. That's what I'm going with there. I'm going to take New Orleans to go over the total for one of your free picks. I like Seattle minus 3 points and a little bit on the under as well, although I'll just go with Seattle minus 3 at Carolina. And I like the Sunday night game between the Giants and the Cowboys to go over the price as well. Once again, on the homepage, all the coupons, discounts, etc. If you ever have any questions, you can always contact customer service. Best of luck to you guys, and I will catch you again come Monday morning.